like I said in this next video here, in the last video, that Nick is just jealous of me. Continuing on with the video to create for a family so that they can understand where I'm coming from and why we're taking the legal action that we're taking. So he's attacked me on my PTSD, and you know what? Like I said, he was a Marine infantryman who never saw combat. Apparently, he blames me for that, even though he's told me, he's like, well, I would have gone over there and everything, and there were times when him and I were cordial, where he would actually tell me, he felt like less of a Marine because he never served in combat, and I told him flat out, I still feel the same way. That doesn't make him less of a Marine. That just makes him a Marine who wasn't in a unit that was needed to go over and accomplish that mission at the time. That's all that means. That doesn't make you less of a Marine. What makes you, and it doesn't even make him less of a Marine that he didn't get promoted. It makes him less of a leader. Okay, unfortunately for him, and very fortunate for me, the Marines breed leaders. All of us are leaders. Okay, that's what makes us. That's what makes us unique. And that's the reason why some members of the other of our sister services don't like us, because we're pretty arrogant about it. But we only take orders from other Marines. The thing is there was a failure to step up and take leadership. He refused that, and that's the reason why he only made it to Lance Corporal. And if you notice, like I said in the picture here, that is not a Marine infantry uniform. That is a Marine uniform. That was a Marine uniform that was at the time that all service members used in the Marine Corps when at the same time that Nick and I were in the service. Him and I did not cross paths at all when he was active duty. But this is the uniform that he wore when he was in Japan. And the reason why they took him out of the cami uniform and put him in the white uniform is because he didn't measure up. That's what it comes down to. Making it up to the staff sergeant ranks, to the staff NCO ranks as a staff sergeant in E6 in the Marine Corps, 15 and a half years of personnel management, resource management, logistics, all that kind of stuff, managing at that kind of level. When you're a staff NCO, you're directly responsible to the officers in your chain of command to making direct recommendations to them so that they can make the appropriate decisions that affect the command. Okay? One of the decisions that we would make affecting the command is to have a Marine who's not cutting the mustard be put somewhere else. He was put in the kitchen. Okay? That is an insult to an infantryman. Okay? Not only on top of that, but now that those pictures were found, and he even told me about that when I first met April, that he was a cook over in Japan and everything, and it's just one of those things where, like I said, it's an insult there, and the fact that he was also talking to a communicator who did see combat, that only added an insult to injury right there. He'd already made up his mind. He didn't like me, and has been attacking me ever since. He's made peace a couple times with me. Actually, I've made peace a couple times with him. But you know what? In the end, truth be known, that's the situation. And I think it's pretty sad that he has to take and do what he feels is necessary, and also is reckless, unpatriotic, un-American, immature as it is, to attack someone with PTSD, knowing that I actually went over and did his job, served in Iraq. And like I said, it's kind of like I'm trying to think of a civilian equivalent, but for a Marine infantryman, one of the most coveted things you can possibly have is a combat infantryman's badge. Okay, and a lot of infantrymen also have Purple Hearts, which basically means you've been wounded in combat. Okay, specifically by the enemy, by the way. But he didn't like the fact that there was somebody in the room that could call him on his trash. I heard him talk, like I said before, and he did not like what he was hearing. So, as a result of that, he decides to start attacking the PTSD. And what that does is that puts me in a position where, quite frankly, I feel sorry for him. The battle with PTSD is hard enough as it is, okay? But then uh, when you have a member of the armed forces that turns around and betrays another member of the armed forces with an attack like that, which really isn't surprising considering he got remarried after telling me in the hospital that he wasn't going to remarry at all before Cheryl even died, okay? And then he gets remarried less than 90 days later. There's an issue there, okay? When he's got people from his own church that are telling him, no, you don't do this, it's going too fast, and when he finds himself defending himself on Facebook, that means that there are so many people telling him that, look, aren't you moving too fast? Okay, this tells me that so many people are telling him that he feels compelled to defend himself. Okay? But when you have that many people, you have a best friend. How do you replace a best friend like that? You don't. God forbid if something happened to April, okay, it would be me, Micah, and my service dog. That's it. Uh, remarriage, that's not even a thought. That's something I could so totally care less about. And the problem was with Nick, that was already on his mind before Cheryl was even gone. And I think the rest of the family needs to know the truth about that. You can talk to April about it. She'll confirm the whole thing. And it's extremely unfortunate, sad, disappointing, heart-wrenching, disgusting, pathetic. Just about anything you can imagine when someone takes and replaces their best friend of 20 years. And you know what that makes me wonder? It makes me wonder what his new wife would think of that. If he can replace his best friend of 20 years, what do you think he can do with her to her in less than 1 year of being married to her? Okay, he's already posted over Facebook that hey, they were running into problems, and he's determined to make it work. But unfortunately, I think everybody in the family knows well enough that while he's determined to make it work, it's not because it's actually the right, because he actually wants to make it work. He's tired of people telling him it was the wrong thing to do, so he's just spending the rest of his life fighting the odds of everybody else trying to tell him and trying to encourage him to see what was best. And it's unfortunate that had to happen. But anyway, I'm going to stop this for now. I'm going to grab some more stuff and finish up this video. Okay?